welcome to Plants, Painting, and Poetry. This is our Friday night poetry prompt. So during the course of the month, based on what our theme is, and this month's theme is on roots. It's all about roots. So based on roots and what we learn about them in the next 4 weeks, you are going to be challenged to write poems about these. So let's get started. I'm actually not sure in what order these lessons are actually going to be divided up into what Friday, but I think I'm going to start here. I'm going to start here with the taproot. So the taproot is what we normally think of as like carrots, right? So there's one major root, and it, of course, like sprouts out leafy things that then feed the root. So all of the energy is just being consumed by the root of things, right? And then we can eat it. So this makes me think of being obsessive, which is kind of what this whole show is about. So the word obsession, if you look it up in the dictionary, or if you look it up in the etymology dictionary, which is the history of how words are created, it explains that obsessions are like possession, but without the spirit actually inhabiting the body. So it's almost like being possessed by an evil spirit, but in the case of obsession, it's not inside of you, it's outside of you, it's external. And I think that that's a really interesting thing to think about. Like, as a poet and an artist, you need to be cultivating your obsessions, not in a way that hurts you or other people, hopefully, but in a way that you have all this dense material to pull from. So for the sake of this series, we're obsessing over plants. And those plants eventually are going to turn into the metaphors, the symbols, the foreshadowing, all of the sort of literary tricks are all going to stem. All the puns in the show are also going to be plant puns. They're all going to stem back to this obsession with plants. So I'm looking at plants because, I mean, they're a great source of like life and death, the life cycle. Plants actually live really differently from us. So animals and people have to die. Plants, if they're taken care of or in optimal conditions, they self-generate, or they actually clone themselves. So unlike us, plants can live forever and ever and ever. And to be completely honest with you, part of this series is because my own father is pretty sick, and having to face his mortality, of course, means I have to face my own mortality and the mortality of everything that I love. And so to have this thing to obsess over, this plant, that could potentially live forever unless I devour it and eat it, right? This obsession. And so your poetry prompt for this week, probably for the full month, because this is going to take a while to sort of acquire, right? In a weird way, I almost want you to hoard, but only hoard in your imagination the thing that you're obsessed with. So find one thing. Try not to make it a person, because that's just creepy, right? Try to find one thing, one object, one thing that for some unknown reason to you, you're just absolutely drawn to it. So one topic, one thing, one object that you just can't help, you always are returning to it in one way or another. And what I would challenge you to do is just obsess over it. So in a very thick, sort of like dark material almost. So if you're thinking of the page as white space or empty space, what I want you to be generating is all of the dark space. So all of those words, all those chunky ideas, all those quotes, all those images, all those things, but they all have to go back to one thing, one obsession. So my super goal for you is to find that one thing and fill an entire notebook of things that relate to that one thing, that obsession. And then just from that, sort of pick and choose the best parts of your findings and put them together in a list poem that lists all the best parts of this thing that you can't seem to keep yourself away from, because you're possessed by this obsession. All right, good luck, guys.